You know, when I look around at all the entrepreneurs who are grinding it out, spending 70 to 80 hours per week growing their business, you have to ask yourself the question, at what cost? Hi, my name's Tim Uchuk, and in this podcast, we're going to be exploring the tools, tactics, and strategies for crushing it and scaling your business without making the ultimate sacrifice of your time and freedom. Hey, what's up everyone? Tim Uchuk here, and I am just breaking away for a quick 10 minutes. We're in the midst of packing. We leave for our vacation this afternoon. We're actually going to be catching a ferry from Vancouver Island, heading to Vancouver tonight, Kelowna tomorrow, then we're heading to Spokane, across to Montana. We're going to spend a week there, probably eat some huckleberry jam and do all that kind of stuff, and then head back. And I'm probably going to unplug and take that time to be present, get off the grid, and just enjoy my family, rewire the brain. And if you're taking summer vacation as well, I recommend that you do the same. Try to unplug, get off the grid, and just give yourself that gift, rewire your brain. And so how I do this, I mean, yesterday and today, first thing this morning, I was doing exactly what I want to share with you. And that is focusing on the highest leverage activities. And so this metaphor that I want to share with you, which has been useful for me, and it almost becomes a game. If you look at the leaders and entrepreneurs that are just hyper productive, they're able to get a lot of stuff done. They're really good at this, and it really does become a game. How long can you lengthen that lever? And the analogy is, right, if you've got a short lever versus a long lever, I'm saying lever, not lover, leverage, you're able to obviously carry a greater load. So we're talking about the metaphor of your return on your time and investment. And it's not always necessarily monetary. So thinking about your business, for example, there are a number of things that I have just become habituated to basically always be 24/7 searching out the highest leverage ways of using my time. And I have been for years now, and that's why I say it becomes a game. And once you start to experience the benefits of thinking in this way, it's hard to go back. It's impossible to go back. Another way of looking at it is when you're searching for problems, think in terms of how can I solve 1,000 problems by solving one problem. When you ask yourself this question, it becomes less painful to work on things like documenting processes the right way. And when you do that, you're solving 1,000 problems, because if there's something that you do and people come to you every time asking the same silly questions, and they're probably not silly because they have a poor understanding, which as the leader, we have to point the fingers at ourselves. So how can you solve one thing or 1,000 things by solving one thing? I'm going to give you 4 examples right now. Example number 1, if you don't have a lead generation system in your business, you should. You should have a mechanism or a way that you're driving leads into your business on a continual basis. Once you have those leads, you should have a system in place for nurturing them and maintaining communication, giving them value. You know, this podcast, for example, is a way of nurturing you. If you're listening to this and you're subscribed to my list, this is an example of nurturing your leads and hopefully getting them to know you, like you, and trust you. That's the name of the game in your business. So high leverage activity, if you don't have a lead generation system in your business, it's really not as hard as it sounds. And really what you want to give is there's a problem set within your business. And really that's what a business is, right? Businesses exist to solve problems for a person or a group of people. So think in terms of a sliver of a problem within your business that you can just give away in exchange for an email. Think free training, think like a buyer's guide, think of like a top 10 checklist PDF that they can download. Something of value that you can give, or it could be a discount coupon to be redeemed at a future date. Something of value you can give in exchange for an email. And we did this a long time ago, by devoting time and attention. It was painful the first time I ever did it, but once we had that asset created, it's paid for itself 1,000,000 times over. So I've solved 1,000 things by just solving one thing. We created this asset, which is a lead generation, and we've got multiple throughout our businesses now. For my Perfect Week coaching program, it's a 10-minute case study. So it's 10 minutes worth of training. I also have several blueprints that are lead magnets that I just give away, right, in exchange for email. So that's one example of a high leverage activity, because once you create that asset, it's digital, which means it can be used infinitely, which means that you're solving more than 1,000 things. And again, the number of leads that I've created and emails that I've created in my Perfect Week coaching program, as well as across our businesses, our compressed air business, we've got a checklist, an uptime checklist for service managers who are running compressed air in their shop. So think in terms of one sliver out of your business that solves a common problem, one little sliver. That would give value in advance. And another great analogy is it's like Costco, where they give you the samples, right? You're giving a free sample in advance, right? And in doing so, you're going to be invoking the laws of reciprocity, where they feel obliged to pay back the favor in some small way. So that's one example, is developing a lead generation asset is one way to solve 1,000 problems by solving one. So that's something you should spend your time on, I would think, if generating new business is important to you, obviously. So another way of looking at this and generating higher leverage activities and how to focus on it is how-tos. So what I mean by that are anytime, and think about onboarding or think about hiring in your business. If it feels random every time you're hiring within your business, it means that you don't have standards in place. And so what I recommend doing, and this is an area that I focus on, was that what is the best way to stabilize our hiring process and practice so that we don't make bad hires, bad decisions, so we've got a great job ad, so it's posted in such a way that we get the highest quality candidates. What is the best way to do all that stuff? And we documented it. And that's how we do it every single time. And by doing that, without me having to be there, I don't intervene. When we need to hire, we just run our process. I don't intervene, and I know that we're running the process. And so I know as a result, we're attracting as many candidates as possible. We're attracting great candidates. They're running through our filtering process, and our batting average has been improved immensely. So that's number two. I call them how-tos, but it's documenting your procedures. And by the way, in our program, I teach you exactly how to get this stuff done in a simple way. So if this is a gap for you in your business, I recommend the best way to get started is at bookwithtim.com. But there's so many tools out there nowadays for you to just quickly and easily document your processes that didn't exist years ago. So that's an easy, obvious one, and it feels monotonous and it feels difficult when you're doing it because you're not getting immediate payback. But just think of the number of problems that you're solving down the road for yourself, downstream, by focusing your energy on this stuff. And then once you develop a framework for even developing these how-tos, now for the most part, I will delegate them to my team. So we have a process for the process, meaning that we have a training, which if you go through it, you know how to document a process confidently. So that's number two example. Number three is delegating, which is an obvious one, which is the closest next best thing you can do to cloning yourself. So delegating $10 per hour activities off your plate, delegating recurring activities off your plate is another great way to extend that lever. And fourthly, I've gone through this in a previous podcast, but what we do, and it's the start of a new quarter right now, is we establish SMART targets for each quarter, each 90 days. This is one of the biggest reasons why I'm able to enjoy my vacations, is that we have established exactly who's doing what by the end of this quarter. So by the end of, it's going to be the end of September, who's doing what, and it's measurable. It's SMART, meaning specific, measurable, agreed upon, realistic, and time based. And we track it every single week, and it's transparent. Everybody can see it. And guess what? When I'm on vacation, I could pull it up from my phone and I can see the progress we're making without having to talk to anyone. And so that is one of the highest leverage activities, which I can't underscore enough, is getting into a quarterly rhythm in your business and using SMART metrics, SMART targets, broken down into quarters, and you check them week over week. So I've gone through this again in a previous podcast, but that's one thing that I buttoned up. Yesterday I worked on it on the weekend a little bit. Now they're locked down. Everybody knows what they're responsible for. We can break huddle, and I know I'm going to be gone for a week and a half, and I know that we're going to be moving the needle in my absence. And for those of you that know as well, we run our business remotely, so I run it remotely anyway. So this stuff has had to be in place for a long time in order to make that possible. So for you, if you're going on vacation, if you want to have a better, more enjoyable time, I recommend planning your quarter using smart metrics in the way that I described again in a previous episode, and then just thinking in general about how you're investing your time. What are those problems that, if solved, will solve 1,000 problems for you? And that's it. It becomes a habit, a way of thinking. And like I say, when you get your first win, it's impossible to unsee it and to go back to the old way of doing things. So I hope that's helpful. I'm going to get back to packing here, and we will see you on the other side. Hey, Tim Uchuk here, and real quick, if you enjoyed this podcast episode, if you could take a couple quick seconds to give it a rating, it would be very much appreciated. And secondly, if you're looking for more tools and strategies on how you can crush it in life and business, just head on over to bookwithtim.com, where I've put together a free case study which shows you how to unlock unprecedented freedom today by using the 2 power levers. Just head on over to bookwithtim.com. Until next time, wishing you success and freedom in your business. Cheers.